I like to see the new partnerships, especially at the beginning of 2025. But on the other side of the net, Tardio and Johnson have played with each other before and have been successful in the past.
0-0-1.
Well, I think they only played together at the championships, right?
Oh, what a counter from Tardio.
And after a rough start, they did make it to the second day, but
1-0-1.
I don't think they medaled.
Nice, Rafa Hewett staying aggressive and catching J.W. Johnson off guard. That's something that you don't see often.
True, true. He hit it in a good spot. I think he hit it a little higher than a lot of people attack, and that's going to be a little bit out of the wheel zone of most players. Wow. Did you see how far over Noe was there to cover that ball?
Yeah.
So not only covered middle, but literally covered Rafa's left-hand side. Rafa could have hit that with his forehand if he was ready for it.
He sits backhand. Rafa Hewett sits backhand when he is blocking or countering a shot. So Noe sees that, comes over, and does a really good job at understanding the positioning.
And that's kind of an old school move there. I'll talk about it in a second. Joey Farias told me they would play that way sometimes, and he played, God, he used to play with a guy from Tucson. Remember who I'm talking about?
Rickard.
Rickard, there we go, Sean Rickard. Boy, he'd be falling over in his chair right now if he heard me mention his name. Yeah, I believe he's still in Tucson. Plays with another buddy of mine that lives there.
Aggressive play from Khlif.
And that buddy is Aaron Nissen. And anyway, they would come over and cover their partner's left or right side, so they didn't have to worry about it at all. And so just like in that case there, where Rafa's only concerned with his backhand, and Noah's going to take everything else.
Interesting enough, that counter, even though he was sitting middle, the counter was on the backhand of Khlif. And right now, ahead by 3. A nice little run there in the
broadcaster jinx on him.
Still a great run. Got to get him while they're you know, unsuspected.
Point. 2-4-1.
Nice spot there. Going down to the feet, always a tough position to get to a ball. When the ball's coming low, you got to hit up on it. So always looking to come over the top of the shots. Both Rafa and Noe on it with their...
They made it tougher or no?
Not too sure. That one was definitely let ball.
Oh, wow, almost went over. Everybody was looking up there for a second.
And, you know, the lets happen consistently because the margins with the pros are just so precise. It happens often, so you have to have the ability to work with adversity. Oh, ball was called out. The ATP was still made. Tardio wants a challenge. So we'll
out. I would say on that one though, you don't even call that ball. Let your partner hit the ATP first, win the point, and then you can just not call it.
okay.
Right? Because it happened so quickly there. I still think he would have been within his right to call that ball out.
Time in. 4-5-1. Yeah. Point.
Another point to the scoreboard.
And we're getting a little yap from Rafa. Rafa's definitely one of the most entertaining players to watch. Very vocal, very fun. Does some little finger spin thing that nobody really understands.
Ooh, a nice speed up there from Khlif. Because JW has such quick hands, he's usually on it, but just seeing a different look from an opponent that he doesn't usually play with or against. Off the net and in. Beautiful dinks here, staying low, unattackable. Yeah! And Rafa Hewett finds it.
It's funny because Rafa's doing the same thing I commented on earlier when JW was playing mixed. He's going for Ernie's, or excuse me, yeah, he's
nice hands.
Wow! What a point. Actually, that last point was just incredible.
MLP Challenger Champion 2024.
And we jinxed him.
A good timeout called from Tardio and Johnson.
8-5-2.
Almost.
Right out.
A lot of those lefties, once they commit to their forehand, they just stay there, and so you can go behind them, and that's why they tend to hit more behind the back shots than anybody else. It's because they were actually made a mistake and overcommitted. Wow, again.
Tardio speed up will not work against Khlif.
It might, but it didn't on that point.
5-8-2.
Nice slice return, keeping that ball low. Ernie look from Hewett.
Wow.
He makes it this time.
Wow, 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 wow. That was a 4 wows in a row point right there. Crazy.
That's out!
Nice lead from Rafa Hewett, who is energized and pumped up as ever.
If you didn't hear the call there, it was out.
9-5-1.
Off the net.
Yeah, otherwise, no, he's getting that back, right? Sorry to interrupt. That's what you got to do to get one by him.
9-5-2.
Defensive play here. The
Wow.
angle from J.W. Johnson, too good for the side out.
Call it in, but we're going to challenge the call.
So the call that was under review was that overhead hit from J.W. Johnson. Refs have reviewed the footage that you saw on screen there. Let's take a listen and see what the call is. So the in call was in. They wanted to review that the ball, or they wanted to challenge that the ball might have been out, even though they did call it in.
I like those tests, right? Call it in, challenge your own call. Looks better than if you call it out. Gets overruled.
Time in. 5-9-1.
So that's a side out.
Yep!
Second serve.
So as I was talking about earlier, Rafa keeps, you know, thinking he might get an Ernie chance down there. JW is not going to give him an Ernie chance down the line, ever.
But it's also done for a threat, right? That's what's happening. That threat, even though that opportunity is not there, the threat's there. Khlif wants that shot. He wants the ball. Slice dinks from Gabe Tardio. And he attempts to go down the line, but misses into the net. And here we are with a game point.
Crazy, crazy. But I told you, these guys are good. They played well together the other day. They're playing amazing today. And Khlif, honestly, is really surprising me at how good he is. Oh, and he almost got what he wanted there. That ball just wasn't quite high enough, and he was sort of committed, I think. He was a little out of position, off balance a little bit, and went for it anyway, which is okay. So the problem with that Ernie thing, though, is he's requiring Khlif to cover the whole court for a shot that's never coming. And so the whole court is being covered by Noe on those. And Rafa's just out of position, and he's also having to come back into the court while moving.
But he attempts to do it again. He's going to keep giving that look.
I think it's more a habit, just that he's just used to doing that because some people will. I just know from watching JW that he just does not dink down the line, ever.
Setting himself up, Khlif is just on fire.
6-10-2.
Combinations off of his speed up. Very lethal. A missed return there.
We saw that happen to Chris Getcheva in the last match 2 or 3 times. There are just some bad bounces right around the sideline there, combined with the wind picking up a gust or two here, and all of a sudden you miss a ball that you never miss otherwise.
Tardio coming in with the backhand. Gives threatening looks.
Yeah! Come on!
And it's funny because Rafa could also take that. He did on that last one, giving them game point number 2.
Not that time. I like it though. Stay aggressive. As my friend Sal always says to me, stay aggressive, stay aggressive.
10-7-2.
Sorry.
Point, game 11-7.
And there it is, game,
Change it in, 0-0-2.
but now playing with JW Johnson.
And there's an example of what I was talking about. Because Rafa's going for the Ernie there, he was just slightly out of position when he got attacked. It wasn't quite set yet, and that's what lost the point. So I really don't like that he keeps going over there. It's just pointless to me.
Side out.
It's kind of hard to say, right? Because they did take game number 1, and Rafa came over so much for Noe to take over, and that was
0-1-1.
successful for them, even though we don't like the look. So I think they're going to continue. I think Rafa Hewett's going to continue to do that because it was successful, and even though it wasn't for that 1 point, it was for a whole game. And a beautiful return there. Nice and deep return, putting the pressure on, making it tough for the opponents to hit a nice third.
1-1-2.
Too much there.
Well,
2 missed thirds.
He's still letting Noe hit any balls that are coming to his forehand side. He's just standing there as opposed to being out of position, you know, straddling the kitchen corner. That looked into me. So that's the one they should challenge, maybe. Did
No
you see it?
challenge. I did not see it.
2-1-1.
Oh, a big tag there from Gabe Tardio into the body of Rafa Hewett.
Right? If they're just going to allow it to be JW dinking with Noe, the first game that didn't work out for them.
After so many dinks, it's kind of a lull, right? And now Noe Khlif trying to be aggressive to JW Johnson. And that move from Tardio is really, there's a huge shift here in the game because of that.
Yeah, he's been aggressive the last 2 points. And it's something different that they have to do, I think.
Keep down.
So much patience going on, though, in each point. You don't see the attack right away. So it's the decision of when to pull the trigger, when to be impatient or be patient. It's a big chess match going on here. That time the exchange going to Tardio and Johnson.
Yeah, he was on it, though. He was right there. Just missed it. Hit the tape.
5-1-2.
Nobody's going to make every ball. Starting to get some swirling winds and dust devils here. Bougainville leaves are flying.
Receiver, 6-1-2.
If you've ever been to Las Vegas, you've seen the
6-1-2.
Head by 5, game number 2. Great point there. We saw speed up, reset, back into the dink. Pickleball.
Great patient point. Yeah, exactly. Pickleball. Not only exciting for those of us who've been around for a while.
And the sun is setting here on Grandstand Court here in Rancho Mirage, California.
Yeah, it's great. We've been beaten down by the sun here for the longest time. I'm so excited that it's about to go down on our booth there. Michelle's had an umbrella the whole time. She's been very smart.
Oh, nice dink. Sets up Tardio, defensive lob.
Oh, almost. I like it too. I like it. I think you should swing at some of those overheads, get yourself back in the point, as opposed to keep trying to weather a barrage of overheads
1-1.
from these former tennis players.
That's it, baby.
And that had either a bad bounce or weird wind gust.
Right here.
6-1-2.
That's a beautiful shot. And for those of you at home that can't tell, Gabe Tardio is very long, tall, 6'2", 6'3", huge length. Both he and CJ Klinger almost have the exact same body type.
Second serve.
And
Except Klinger is lefty.
And Klinger's lefty, that's true. And Hayden's waiting to catch up. I think he will, though.
1-6-2. Right out.
So Khlif is obviously trying to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so patient. I think he wants that one back.
6-1-1.
That was not the shot there.
Second serve.
Wow. Unusual, unusual. But he did hit 50 dinks in a row before he missed, so still a 98% success rate.
The windup and the miss.
So Michelle, what do you think I should have to be required to give you if Rafa actually does hit an Ernie in this match?
You don't have to give me anything. Oh, nice ball down the line from Noe Khlif.
Really sweet.
Beautiful control there.
Now that was the right shot. You know how I know? Because it was successful. Wow, wow. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Really fun to watch points like that.
I like the aggressiveness. Now there's got to be a shift as they're down by 6 here in game 2. And I feel like because Khlif was so aggressive in game 1, he didn't want to be as predictable here, but he needs to continue that. He needs to continue. That's what got him successful. He needs to find it.
Yeah, well, I think now's the time to try things in sort of the thought of, hey, we might be going into a 3rd game, not that we're giving up. But let me try some things that maybe will work for us in game 3 as an adjustment.
I like it.
7-1.
Rafa finally seeing the
Hey, maybe try a lob, and then of course I forgot about the 27-mile-per-hour wind gust that we got here, because I haven't seen any lobs since I've been here at this tournament. And it's
Elise Jones hit one just in the last match, grandstand.
Well, I didn't see it.
It was the best lob ever.
See, right there might have been a good time for a lob, right? He's right at the net. Both guys came up. Oh. Wow. Why are those lefties so good at behind the back and the tweeners, right? Tyler Loon hits those same shots all the time. And it's really unlike any other players. And they're taking semi-offensive time.
This is one of those rules if you're on grandstand or championship court for the replay.
Yeah, it's weird to have different rules, right, on different courts. One of the other changes for the grandstand court is you can go in the kitchen if you want to.
Off the net. The ball stays in.
Oh my God.
The ball stays in.
Loaded back in, that's crazy.
4-7-1.
A little run here in game number 2 for Khlif and Hewett.
Wow. Well, as I said earlier, time out there.
So remember the aggressiveness. What do they need to do in order to gain their side out? They're going to be aggressive.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
The momentum is hot right here.
Well, Rafa had 2 amazing gets, resets there, and then a sweet put away down the middle.
Hewett's there.
Not there. He was there, not there. Kick save, though. Did you see that? I think that was actually Kason Campbell on the side there, maybe. Who was that? No, I don't see him. Okay. On the replay, it looked like someone with a hat that was in bad shape.
The drive into the setup.
He caught him unwinding the stack there just a little bit, just enough. He got his paddle on it, but he popped it up. Wow, and it's tied up. Wow, wow.
So obviously JW Johnson and Tardio are responding with being aggressive first now, since the momentum has changed. Now things are tied up, looking to take game 2.
So they're all bangers out there right now?
You.
Well, that was actually aggressive movement towards the net there, right? He was in trouble, and yet he still kept going forward. And sometimes that's a strategy you got to employ, too. You just can't stay back and wait to be picked apart.
You.
Drop volley.
No way!
And the wind blew it a little bit, and there was a short bounce on that, so because JW was there, he had it. He got bamboozled by the elements there.
Gusty winds. Now ahead by 1 here.
Crazy,
they were
crazy.
trailing 0-7. And they came back, tied things up, and now ahead by 1.
I did not realize that. I remember seeing 7-2.
Off the net.
Oh, that was sweet. Boy, that was cool. Gabe didn't even move. He just reacted to that let ball, put his paddle up, and put it away like it was nothing. To him, it was.
Cross court between Rafa.
Wow.
In between the legs and wide for the side out there. Incredible. As we're nearing out game number 2.
7-8-1.
Yep. Yes, dude.
Second serve.
Couldn't get out of the way there.
Right. 7-8-2.
You. You.
I'm loving it so much.
Just a little too high. In fact, that one was a lot too high, honestly.
Patient point.
You.
Khlif seeing majority of the shots here.
I think it was going in. I think.
Incredible, though. Incredible point.
Well,
Everyone was holding their breath here on grandstand court.
9-7-2.
not me. I was breathing normally.
You.
Wow.
Rafa Hewett giving a different look on a very important point.
Match point.
10-7-2.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
That's out.
Point.
And the return is missed wide. Rafa Hewett, Noe Khlif taking Tardio and Johnson in
Yeah,
straight
baby!
games, 11-7, 11-7. They will be advancing tomorrow